Late delivery work teaches you to trust instructions from people you never see. Leave at door. Do not knock. Gate code is broken. Text when outside. Photo required. Most of these instructions are harmless. They come from tired people, people with sleeping roommates, people with dogs, people who don't want to talk to strangers in sweatpants at 1 in the morning. But drivers who work these hours learn something else too. A bad instruction does not always sound threatening. Sometimes it sounds polite. Sometimes it includes better tip. Sometimes it says please. The three drivers in these stories didn't quit because someone chased them. They quit because a routine delivery asked them to cross a line, and after that, every next order felt like it might be asking the same thing. One was told to leave food inside an apartment with the door already open. One took no contact photo that showed something standing behind him. And one kept getting sent back to the same empty looking house, each time with a newer receipt. This is the Deadbolt Stories. Lock the door. Leave the story on. The first story, Leave It Inside. Marcus only accepted the order because it was on his way home. That's what he kept telling himself afterwards. Not because it explained anything, but because he needed one ordinary reason why he had turned onto Haldren Ridge at 12:41 in the morning instead of declining the request and driving home. He had already worked 8 hours at the warehouse before he started deliveries. He was tired in the specific way that made every red light feel personal. His back hurt, his left knee clicked when he got out of the car. The cup holder had 3 old receipts in it, all curled from spilled coffee and heat. The order came through just as he was about to shut off the app. Apartment 4C, 2 bags, 1 drink, better tip than usual. Delivery instructions. Door is unlocked. Please leave inside. Can't come to hallway. Marcus stared at the last line while the car idled in the parking lot. He didn't like going inside apartments. Most drivers didn't. A threshold was a threshold for a reason. At the door, you were doing a job. Past the door, you were in somebody else's space, and all the rules got soft. Still, people wrote odd instructions all the time. Please leave at side door, baby sleeping. Put behind planter, neighbor steals. Set inside garage, code is 1184. He told himself it was probably a disabled customer, or someone sick, or someone who had ordered because they couldn't safely get up. He told himself a lot of things in the 3 minutes it took to get there. The building was called Haldren Ridge, though there was no ridge anywhere near it. Just a 4-story brick rectangle behind a line of thin trees, with a lobby light that made everything look faintly yellow. The access code worked on the first try. Inside, the lobby smelt like floor cleaner and old heat. A mirror over the mailboxes reflected Marcus holding the delivery bags in one hand and a drink carrier in the other. He looked more tired than he felt, which was saying something. The elevator took too long to come down. While he waited, he noticed red tape stuck to the wall near the inspection certificate. Not fresh tape, just old residue, 3 narrow strips where a notice had been pulled away and left the color behind. The elevator doors opened with a soft chime. 4th floor. Marcus stepped out into a beige hallway with brown carpet and identical doors. The kind of hallway where sound didn't travel so much as press against the walls. Somewhere, behind a door, a television murmured. Somewhere else, pipes knocked once and went quiet. His phone buzzed. Customer message. You passed me. Marcus stopped. He had taken 2 steps out of the elevator. He looked left. Units 4A and 4B were that way. Closed doors. No one in the hall. He looked right. The hallway turned near the stairwell. 4C was at the far end. He typed, I'm on the 4th floor now, heading to 4C. The answer came immediately. Yes, please hurry. That should have been enough to make him leave the bags by the elevator and go. He knew that later. At the time, it only made him irritated. Tired people get irritated before they get scared. Fear takes energy. Annoyance is easier. Annoyance lets you finish the job. He walked to 4C. The door was already cracked open. Not wide, maybe 2 inches. Enough to show a sliver of dark tile, a strip of baseboard, and the bottom of the chain lock hinge loose against the inside frame. Marcus knocked with his knuckles on the door frame. "Delivery!" A woman's voice answered from somewhere deep inside. "You can set it past the mat." Her voice sounded normal. Quiet, but normal. The kind of voice someone uses when they are trying not to wake a roommate. Marcus leaned slightly, not crossing the threshold. "I'm going to leave it right here, okay?" The phone buzzed again. "Kitchen counter, please. I tipped extra." He looked down at the bags in his hand, then into the apartment. The entry opened into a small living room. He could see a couch shape, a low table, a television with one red standby light, and a hallway going back towards what was probably the kitchen. Near the door were 2 pairs of shoes. One pair was small, white, and neatly placed side by side. The other pair was black and muddy, toes pointed toward the hallway like someone had taken them off before leaving. Marcus said, "I'm not allowed to enter units. I can put it just inside the door." There was a pause. The woman's voice said, "He said the kitchen counter." Marcus went cold, because that wasn't the same voice. It was lower, not much lower, not some horror movie growl, just lower enough that the words seemed to belong to a different mouth. Before he could answer, the first voice whispered, "Don't answer that." Marcus took 1 step back. The hallway behind him seemed longer than it had a moment ago. He set the bag just inside the threshold, close enough that he didn't have to put his foot over the line. The drink carrier went beside them. His hand shook a little as he opened the camera in the app. The flash didn't go off. He tapped the screen. The photo came back too dark. The phone buzzed. "Please don't leave yet." Marcus said louder than he meant to, "Your food is here." From inside the apartment, something shifted behind an interior door. He had noticed the door already. It was down the short hallway, half visible from the entrance. At first, it had only been a dark rectangle in the dark. Now he saw a line of shadows beneath it, interrupted by 2 shapes that looked like feet, bare feet, standing too close to the other side. The lower voice said, "Close it." The first voice whispered, "Please don't." Marcus backed away until his shoulder touched the opposite wall. His phone buzzed again. "Thank you. Please close the deadbolt when you leave." He looked at the door. The deadbolt was on the inside. A thumb turned above the knob. There was no keyhole on his side. No way for him to close it from the hallway unless he reached into the apartment and pulled the door shut while his hand was still inside. "Not doing that," Marcus said. He didn't know who he was saying it to. The app chimed. Order complete. He had not submitted the photo. The apartment door moved. Slowly. Just enough for the hinges to make a small sound. Marcus turned and walked fast toward the elevator. He didn't run until he heard the door close behind him. Then came the deadbolt. 1 hard throw. Not from the hallway, from inside. The elevator was too slow, so he took the stairs. He hit the 3rd floor landing, then the 2nd, gripping the railing with the hand that had been holding the phone. Outside, he got into his car and locked the doors before he breathed. His phone buzzed again. Photo uploaded. He almost threw it into the passenger seat. Instead, because people are strange about proof, even when proof is the last thing they want, he opened the completed order. The photo wasn't dark anymore. It showed the bags sitting on the tile just inside 4C, the drink carrier beside them, the receipt taped to the bag facing the hall. Marcus zoomed in. His first name was printed on the receipt because the app did that sometimes. Driver, Marcus. Someone had underlined it in red, not digitally, on the paper. A thick red line, slightly uneven, drawn under his name before the picture was taken. Marcus sat in the car with the engine running until another driver pulled into the lot for a different building. Then he drove home. He didn't report it. He didn't call the police. He knew how it would sound. There was an open apartment door. I almost went in. There was voices. The receipt had my name underlined. He deleted the app the next morning. He told his brother he quit because the money was not worth the gas. That was partly true, but it was not the reason. Marcus didn't quit because someone opened the door. He quit because something inside waited for him to close it. The second story, the photo review. Donna had delivered to worse motels. That was the first thing she said when she told the story, and she said it with a kind of irritation that comes with knowing people will focus on the wrong part. It was not the motel itself. The motel was tired, not abandoned. 2 stories, blue doors, outdoor stairs, a vending machine humming beside the office, an ice machine clunking every few minutes like someone dropping rocks in a bucket. She had delivered to places where people shouted through doors, places where dogs hit the windows hard enough to shake the glass, places where customers were drunk and angry and convinced she had stolen fries she had never touched. Room 18 didn't seem like that. It seemed empty. The order came in a little before 1 in the morning. 1 paper bag from a 24-hour diner. No drink. Paid ahead. Room 18, roadside motel, edge of town. Delivery instructions. Leave on chair. Don't knock. Don't wait. Photo required. Donna didn't like instructions that told her not to wait, but she understood them. People were tired. People had sleeping kids. People were embarrassed to open motel doors at night. She parked under the light that buzzed, but didn't quite illuminate the lot. There were 4 cars total. 1 by the office, 1 near the stairs, 2 at the far end under a broken lamp. No car in front of room 18. Donna always counted cars at motel stops. She didn't think of it as fear. She thought of it as inventory. If someone came out yelling, she wanted to know which rooms were awake. If a door opened behind her, she wanted to know whether there should have been someone there. Most drivers develop small rituals like that and pretend they were just habits. She checked the office window. Dark. Checked the upstairs walkway. Empty. Checked the breezeway. Too black after the first few feet. Then she looked at room 18. The plastic chair was exactly where the note said it would be. White once, now gray from weather, angled toward the door like someone had been sitting there and stood up too fast. Donna carried the bag to the chair. The motel door was closed, curtains drawn. The peephole had a small scratch below it, vertical, like someone had tried to pry the metal ring loose. She set the bag on the chair and took the photo. The app froze. Of course, she muttered. She stood there for maybe 5 seconds, phone held up, waiting for the spinning circle to stop. From the breezeway to the left came a breath of cold air. Not wind. The night was still. Just cold air moving out of the dark space between room 18 and the next building. Donna turned her head. Nothing. The breezeway was black past the first few feet. She could see the concrete floor, the edge of the laundry room door, and the red glow of an exit sign at the far end. The app restarted. She took another photo, submitted it, and walked back to her car. That should have been the whole story. She was 2 blocks away when support messaged her. Customer reports order not received. Please verify drop-off. Donna laughed once, not because it was funny. The submitted photo was clear. Bag on chair, door number 18 visible, no drink because there was no drink. She pulled into a gas station, parked under the canopy, and opened the photo to send it again. That was when she saw the failed one. Most of the time, failed uploaded photos disappeared. This one had saved to her phone. At first it looked like the same picture. Bag on chair, blue motel door, window glass beside it reflecting the parking lot. Then Donna noticed her own reflection in the glass. Not all of her, just part of her shoulder, the edge of her phone, the shape of her hand turned slightly toward the chair. Behind her, in the reflection, someone was standing close enough to touch her jacket. Donna enlarged the image. The figure was not clear. That was what made it worse. No face, no sharp outline, just a person-shaped absence interrupting the motel light behind her. Tall, still, head angled toward the phone as if looking at the screen over her shoulder. She looked up from the phone and checked the gas station around her. Cars at the pump, clerk inside, fluorescent lights, ordinary things. She looked back at the photo. The timestamp read 1:13 a.m. Donna frowned. She checked the submitted photo, 1:02 a.m. She checked the order timeline, arrived 12:58, delivered 1:02. The failed photo should have been earlier than the submitted one. It wasn't. Her phone buzzed. Customer message, you forgot the drink. Donna opened the order details. No drink. She opened the failed photo again. At the edge of the chair, partly hidden by the bag, sat a cardboard drink carrier. One empty slot. Donna knew it had not been there. She had carried one bag to the chair. One bag. No carrier, no cup. She had both hands free except for the phone. Support sent another message. Please return to customer for verification. Donna typed, no. Photo confirms delivery. She didn't care if they deactivated her account. She was not going back to room 18. The customer replied before support did. Please come back. The picture didn't get all of us. Donna dropped the phone onto the passenger seat. For a few seconds she listened to the gas pump screens talking softly to no one. Then she picked up the phone again, because fear makes people check the thing that scared them, as if a second look might make it normal. The failed photo was still there. This time, she noticed something in the motel window reflection. The figure behind her was not looking over her shoulder. It was looking at her phone. And on the tiny reflected phone screen, inside the photo, was the same photo again. Bag, chair, door, window, Donna holding the phone. Someone behind Donna. And behind that person, deeper in the reflection, a motel room door standing open where room 18 had been closed. She deleted the app in the gas station parking lot. She didn't delete the photo. She tried, more than once. It always came back in recent deleted, then in cloud backup, then as a blank gray thumbnail that opened if touched by accident. She said the worst part was not the figure. The worst part was that every time she opened the photo, she noticed one more detail she had missed. A hand near the chair leg, a red smear across the room number, the empty drink slot, her own face in the window, mouth slightly open, like she was about to turn around. Donna didn't quit because the motel was dangerous. She had known motels could be dangerous. She quit because the photo didn't prove she'd delivered the food. It proved she had not been alone long enough to notice. The third story, the house that ordered again. Cal kept screenshots of every weird order. He started doing it because customers lied sometimes. Not all the time, not even often, but often enough that a driver learned to protect himself. Wrong address complaints, missing item complaints, people saying the bag never arrived when the delivery photo shows their own doormat with their own dog staring through the storm door. So Cal kept screenshots. Pickup screens, delivery addresses, instructions, completed photos. He said that habit was the only reason he knew the first order really existed. The house was outside the normal zone, down a dead-end road he had never taken before. The first tip was high enough to make the drive worth it, and the order was simple: 2 meals, no drinks. That mattered to Cal because edge of zone orders were a gamble. Sometimes the map lied by 5 minutes. Sometimes the customer lived down a gravel road with no place to turn around. Sometimes the tip vanished after the delivery, and all he had for the extra miles was a dashboard full of dust and the feeling that had been tricked into working for free. This one looked clean. Customer name, M. Rowan. Instructions: leave at front door. Do not knock. Dog is loud. Cal remembered laughing at that. A loud dog was useful. A loud dog meant somebody lived there. The road had no streetlights after the turnoff. His map showed a thin gray line through trees, then a single pin near the end. The house appeared out of the dark all at once. 2 stories, narrow porch, no cars, no decorations, mailbox leaning at an angle by the road. The porch light was off until he stepped onto the first stair. Then it clicked on. Cal stopped with 1 foot raised. He told himself, motion sensor. The light was weak and yellow. It showed peeling paint, a dead plant in a pot, and a front window with the curtains pulled together from the inside. No barking, no movement. He left the bag at the front door, took the photo, and turned to go. From inside the house came the sound of a chair dragging across a wooden floor. Slow, deliberate. Cal didn't wait for anything else. He got in his car, backed down the driveway, and drove until the map found the main road again. By the next morning, he had decided it was nothing. Old houses made noise. People kept dogs in back rooms. Motion lights clicked on. Customers were strange. The second order came the next night. Same restaurant, same 2 meals, same address. Customer name, N. Rowan. Cal sat in the parking lot staring at the screen until the app warned him the offer would expire. The tip was higher this time. He accepted, but before he pulled out, he checked his screenshots from the night before. M. Rowan. Same address, same items. When he picked up the food, he looked at the printed receipt. New date, new time, N. Rowan. At the house, the porch light didn't come on until his foot touched the first stair. The first bag was gone. Not shoved aside, not torn by animals. Gone. There was no trash in the yard, no muddy footprints, no dog hair caught on the mat, no sign that anyone had opened the door. The new instruction said, leave it where you left it last time. Cal had not written where he had left it. He had only taken the photo. He placed the second bag exactly where the first had been. He took the photo and backed away. This time, the porch light clicked off before he reached the stairs. In the dark, from behind the door, came the chair sound again. Closer. Cal reported the order when he got back into town. Suspicious address. Repeated order. No visible occupants. Support thanked him for helping to keep the platform safe and sent him a paragraph that answered nothing. He decided not to deliver near that road again. The third order didn't give him much choice. It came 2 nights later after he declined a different delivery near the zone edge. The screen refreshed, chimed, and showed the same restaurant, same 2 meals, same dead-end address. Customer name, C. Rowan. Cal's full name was Caleb Rowan, but everyone called him Cal. He should have gone home. He knew that. He said it so many times when telling the story that it stopped sounding like regret and started sounding like a plea. I should have gone home, but the app had already started navigating. The pickup was ready when he arrived. The worker behind the counter didn't remember making the order. He only pointed to the shelf. The receipt said 1:13 a.m. Cal looked at the dashboard clock. 12:46. He took a screenshot, then another, then a photo of the paper receipt in his hand. The delivery instructions had changed. You forgot to look through the window. Cal drove slower than he needed to. The road looked different the third time, though he couldn't name how. The trees leaned closer. The mailbox numbers seemed cleaner, as if someone had wiped the dust from them. The house waited at the end with the porch light off. This time, it didn't turn on when he stepped onto the stair. He used his phone light. The front window was to the left of the door, curtains drawn, but not all the way. A narrow gap showed black glass behind it. Cal lifted his phone. At first, he saw his own reflection. Then the light caught paper. Receipts. The first two were taped to the inside window with red tape. M. Rowan. N. Rowan. Same restaurant, same items, same address. Below them was a third receipt. C. Rowan. The order in his hand. Below that was a fourth receipt. Blank except for one printed line. Driver. Cal. His phone buzzed. New order available. He looked down. Same restaurant, same items, same address. Customer name, Cal R. The map loaded automatically. Pickup complete. Route in progress. But the blue driver location dot was not on the porch. It was inside the house. Behind the front door, a phone vibrated. Not his phone. Another one. Same alert tone. Then the chair dragged across the floor again. This time it stopped directly on the other side of the door. Cal left the bag on the porch and ran. The map kept rerouting him back to the house for 6 miles. Every turn he took, it recalculated. Every time, the same dead-end road appeared in gray ahead of him. When he finally reached a gas station, he shut the phone off completely and sat under the lights until morning. The next day, he checked his screenshots. The first order was there. The second order was there. The third was gone. In its place was a completed delivery photo he had not remembered taking. It showed the front window of the house from inside the living room. The receipts were taped to the glass. Beyond them, on the porch, stood Cal. He was holding the third bag and looking down at his phone. Behind him, at the edge of the porch light, someone's hand rested on the doorframe. Cal quit before lunch. He changed his number 2 weeks later because the app notifications kept coming in even after he deleted it. Not many, just one every few nights, usually after midnight. Same restaurant, same items, same address, and one instruction. Driver inside. Please send another. Cal didn't quit because the house was empty. He quit because the next order said he was already inside.